Hey, it's Rachel, and I'm a guilt-free positive parenting specialist, bringing relief to overwhelmed, helpless parents who want to raise great kids without adding more guilt or stress to your lives. Today I'm going to talk about what to do when your child loses it when you tell them that they can't have or do something that they want. So let's say you tell your child that he can't go to his friend's house to study because the last time he did that, he bombed his test, and he flips out on you. Or you tell your toddler that she can't go to the park because it's raining and she throws a huge tantrum. And because this probably happens quite frequently, you get annoyed. Well, of course you do, because it makes logical sense. Your son can't go study with his friends if no studying gets done, and your daughter can't go to the park if it's raining and the slides might be slippery and dangerous. So you explain this to them, but they don't hear you. If anything, their meltdowns only get worse. And that's because explaining your rationale doesn't address the fact that there are reasons that kids freak out when they hear no. One of the common reasons they get frustrated is that they had a certain idea of how things were going to go, and it didn't go that way. So your son may have been counting on going to his friend's house, and maybe he's even afraid of what will happen if he doesn't go. Or your toddler may have had her heart set on having fun with you at the playground, and she doesn't know how to deal with that disappointment. The truth is that we adults also get frustrated and often angry when our expectations aren't met. So if you have something in mind, maybe it's talking to a friend or a spouse or finishing a work project, and your child interrupts, you get frustrated as well. And you may see your conversation with your spouse or your work project is more important than studying with friends or going to the playground, but to them, it's just as important. Whatever our age, our minds are very outcome-oriented. When humans have a goal in mind, our brains are wired to meet that goal, and we all get frustrated when something gets in our way. And at the same time, children need to know how to deal with not getting what they want, right? So what do? The solution is to teach them how to deal with disappointment. So here are the tips for depositing into kids' toolboxes and needs account. The first tip, which is the what to do in the moment tip, is to respect your child's perspective, even if you don't agree with it. Their perspective is important to them, and when you treat them as if it's not, your apparent lack of understanding only causes more of a meltdown. Treating your child with respect is going to calm them down more effectively than using logic and explaining why you are right and they are wrong. All this means is that you let your child know you understand. So to your son who wants to study with his friends, you say, I get why you want to study with them. It's way more fun. And you probably don't want to feel left out when they all get together without you. Or to your toddler, you say, you really wish you could go to the park. Of course you do. You have such a good time when we're there. Then you can set your boundary, but when you do, act like you're on the same team. Instead of saying, I said no, which makes you the enemy, you can say, I'm really sorry that you're not able to go. Tip number 2 for what you can do proactively is to give children tools for dealing with disappointment when they do have to face a boundary. Often boundaries bring up feelings in kids that they just don't know how to deal with. When we teach them how to deal with these feelings, they don't have to release them in the form of meltdowns. So one way to teach dealing with disappointment is to tell them how to find another way to get what they want within the boundary. So you could say to your son, you can't go to your friend's house to study this time. What can you do to make sure you do well on this test so you can maybe go to your friend's house the next time? Or to your toddler, say, we can't go to the park. Let's draw a map of everything we would have done so you can make sure we do all those things the next time we can go. In this way, you're equipping them with strategies they can use to handle their obstacles and frustrations that they will inevitably face in life. I hope those 2 tips give you some ideas for what to do when your child freaks out when you tell them they can't do something. If you want more information about how to motivate your kids to listen to you, ask me about the Parenting by Deposit program, where I'll teach you how to raise kids who feel good about themselves and make healthy choices, even if you're not a perfect parent and never will be. See you next time.